forces are without power. Restore power by capturing the power plants with engineers.
And we are back with GDI Mission 2, Deathless. So for this one, we can't lose any units, of course. I can't lose anyone in a squad, so that rule is going to be for every mission we do. I can only use the 2 riflemen we start with to destroy the Nod base in this mission. APCs and grenadiers are allowed for clearing garrisons. That's going to be more so for the bonus mission, which we don't even have to do anyway. So it's going to be kind of tricky using just 2 riflemen to destroy the Nod base, but we'll find a way.
Take control of the Pentagon with an engineer to restore command and control systems.
So I did get a hold of the 3 power plants, so I got control over all the base defenses, so we're going to be nice and covered for the time being. So if anyone knows how this mission goes, once we do go inside the Pentagon, we'll get reinforcements, but there will be some bombers that will take out the power plant, so we'll have to use those units to defend ourselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to just rely on these base defenses for now to take out the Nod forces. And I'm just going to continue to wait because there are going to be more Nod units on the way, one of which being a heroic, a heroic veterancy unit, so it's going to take more effort from my base defenses to take that out as well, so I may as well just play the waiting game and then take them all out at once. So here comes the next batch, and that should be the heroic one. Yep, and just like the rest, they will go down to those base defenses. No need to risk my rifleman squads on, their rifleman squads. I think they're militant squads in this game, so sometimes I will get the names of the units mixed up, just because I've played Zero Hour so much. Now, with our riflemen, I ended up moving into the garrisoned area, and that triggered the Nod forces into evacuating the first set of buildings, so that's good news for me. I just wanted to take those guys out because otherwise they'll go towards the watchtowers and attack those instead. Now, the ones that are for the bonus objective, they will stay in the building, so we have to use either our riflemen or we could use some grenadier squads to deal with those garrisons too. So some of you might be wondering, okay, why hasn't this guy gotten the Pentagon with the engineer yet? What is he thinking? So what I'm thinking here is if we actually hold off on getting the Pentagon, it means that we can also prevent the Nod forces from actually getting their reinforcements and also building their own units too. So right now, whatever units they have on the map, that's it. They're not actually going to be scripted into building anything. At least that's what I got from the testing that I did doing this mission. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the 2 rifleman squads to basically sneak into the Nod base and try and take out the Nod forces in a way where I can actually keep all of the riflemen in the rifleman squad alive as well. So that was one of the other rules, was if we lose even one guy from the squad, then I will treat it as a unit lost, and then we'll have to redo the mission. So on this mission, Nod actually has quite a few buildings garrisoned near their base as well. So you'd probably think, okay, that's going to be a tall order for just 2 rifleman squads. It is possible, and it does take quite a while. That's what I actually did in the testing version of this. I ended up using both rifleman squads to take out all of the Nod garrisons, and then I went for the Nod buildings as well. So it can work, but I actually found a different way to do this instead. So I was sort of like half testing, half playing for realsies, and that's what I got out of this video as well. So with our riflemen, this is pretty normal. I'm going after some of the Nod militant squads and their rocket squads and just retreating as we go. And because our riflemen are heroic veterancy, we can self-heal as well. So it's just a case of me retreating before we actually lose a guy in our squad and then fail the challenge. So now we're just going to pick them off one by one, just triggering like 1 or 2 batches of infantry. That way we don't aggro too much, and if we aggro too much, then we will lose one of our riflemen, so we can't let that happen. So just another militant there, and then eventually we're going to get within range of the Nod power plants as well as the crane too, and then the airfield, and then I think there's a hand of Nod and a shrine. So even though I was in range of that power plant, I decided to actually retreat with the rifleman because I can't safely destroy the Nod buildings because of the bikes as well as the buggy and then any remaining infantry that Nod has. So this is where I got into a little bit of testing again. So I knew that I could destroy the Nod garrisons. So that's what I knew going into this attempt at the mission. But what I wanted to know was, does the Nod infantry and vehicles stay at the garrisons? Because that's the other thing I didn't mention, is that when you start shooting those garrisons, you can trigger those bikes as well as some militant squads and rocket squads to that garrison area. So what I wanted to know was, will all of those units stay in place, and can I just circle around back to those power plants and other buildings and then shoot those without any interference from the Nod units that we've drawn to the garrisons. So it doesn't take too long for the riflemen to actually get the attention of the bikes and the infantry, but what I also wanted to do was I wanted to pick off some of those infantry as well. See, I could also pick off the bikes, but there is going to be more of a risk because I am going closer and closer to the garrisons and then taking more shots. So I figured we'll take out the infantry anyway, and then that way we can go back to the Nod base, and if there is a chance where all of those Nod units go back to base to defend it, then I should have a better chance of escaping just the bikes. If it's both militant squads and rocket troops plus bikes, then I might be at more risk of taking a loss. So I destroyed as many infantry as I could, and I circled back to the Nod base to try and go after the power plants, but Nod still has some infantry remaining at the base, plus they also have the buggy as well. Now the buggy is going to be good against infantry as well, so I do have to keep in mind that I could lose one of my riflemen if I'm not careful. So with those militant rocket squads, again, it's going to be a case where I need to sort of play it safe and then pick off one or two at a time, because rocket squads can be quite deadly even against rifleman squads if there's enough rockets. So after I took out all of the Nod infantry, I thought that the buggy would be the only thing remaining at the Nod base. So what I did was I used my riflemen to try and scout the area a little bit, and I thought, okay, I need to destroy this guy so then we can actually destroy the Nod buildings. Another thing I probably could have done is I might have been able to garrison the building that's in the top left corner of the map, and then just use the garrison to take out the power plants in the airfield. I might have been able to take out the buggy as well, depends on the aggro range of the buggy itself. But in any case, we took out the buggy with this weakened building that we garrisoned, and now we can just move on to destroying the Nod buildings. There is one garrison that's off to the right, but we should be out of range and we won't be taking much damage at all from that garrison anyway. So I'm going to speed through this section here because it really is just my riflemen destroying the buildings, and because it's just two riflemen, even if they're heroic status, it's still going to take a while. So this is at 4x speed, and now we wait until we destroy the whole base. So while the riflemen are doing their thing, let me just take a moment to say that if you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Now, this is my second attempt at doing a Tiberium Wars 3 video. The first video I did, I ended up having like the graphics at the lowest setting, and I did also talk over the transmissions quite a bit, so any feedback is definitely going to be helpful here. I did try and like speak only when there was going to be me playing. There was no like talking over transmissions, things of that nature. Not that there was that many transmissions to begin with. Okay, so back to the video. We got our rifleman squads, and I decided to take a risk with the riflemen by moving them through an area with garrisons still in play. So I could have taken a safer route by circling around the area and then getting to our next destination, but I wanted to try and speed through this section, so I took the risk and it paid off. So we are able to self-heal back to full health, and we can move on to our next destination, which is going to be this area with power plants and Hands of Nod. So we don't have to destroy those, but we are going to destroy them because it's part of a bonus mission. So with this series, I want to try and do both the main missions and the bonus missions. I don't care about the intelligence. I have no problem just skipping over the intelligence. But yeah, if there is going to be a mission where like bonus mission is like impossible to do Deathless, then I'll try and skip over it. But yeah, main missions and bonus missions for the most part, we will clear those. So by destroying these nod buildings and clearing the bonus objective, it will also mean that we'll get reinforcements in the form of APCs and Grenadier squads. So we can use those guys to clear out the remaining nod garrisons that are on the map. I did also do a double check on the bonus missions and main objectives that we had left to do. So we still have to clear out the 4 garrisons that are in the middle of the map. Like I said, we don't have to do the bonus missions, but I choose to do the bonus missions as well. For as many missions as we possibly can. So now we got 3 APCs, we got 2 of them with Grenadier squads, so we'll use those guys to rank up first as well. So I did get 1 rank up with an APC and that was it. And now we're going to use the APCs to clear out these buildings. So I could use the rifleman squads to clear the buildings and then just very carefully keep retreating and letting the self-heal do its thing. It would be very slow of me to actually do it that way, but it could be done. But I elected to just go with the quick way of doing this. It is just a bonus mission. We don't actually have to do it. As long as we do all of the main objectives and clear the mission Deathless, then we're good. Anyways, so we did get more reinforcements with APCs, and they're just going to chill out near the Pentagon as well, and we're going to get everyone all together. And here's where I get into some unknown territory here, because what I thought was going to happen was I thought I would get the Pentagon, get my reinforcements, and then the bombers would take out the power plants, and then I would have to defend the Pentagon and the rest of this area with just the APCs and my other reinforcements that we only just get. So I thought that was going to happen, but things actually went a little bit differently because we'd already destroyed the Nod base as well. So you get to see something that doesn't normally happen in GDI Mission 2. So now that I've prepared my defense, I get my engineer to take over the Pentagon, so I'll get extra reinforcements. And now I'm just anticipating the attack from the Nod, but instead we get the victorious sign as well. So we get to see the power plants go down to the bombers, and we don't have to deal with any Nod waves. So mission's over, and that is how we did GDI Mission 2 Deathless. So if you enjoyed this one, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do have a playlist if you want to check out any of my other content. I'm Cricolo, and I shall see you in the next one.